What if I told you you could find a way for the track mill to move to the drill locations without you even touching those hand cranks? You'd be interested, wouldn't you? Well, if that's the case, I've got a great video here for you today, which is going to show you how to use and exploit the features of the track mill to your advantage. So what we're going to do is show you how to create a program which will move the table and move your part to the right location. How we can define something called position drill events. What these are, they're going to essentially move your tooling to the correct place to drill. I'm going to show you how to use the look feature so that before you do any drilling, you can see on the ProtoTrack screen what the drill locations look like. Show you how to define a tool table. Show you how to run a program. And then, of course, review the shutting down of the controller. So first up, the whole idea of creating what's called a program. So let's go to our star, Don Howard. All right, folks, we are going to do another hole. Now this one, Don moved to the half-half location, which was the center of the hole, using the manual cranks. This time, we're going to do the same operation. We're not going to go through as much detail, so don't worry. It's not going to be another half hour or something. So what Don's going to do is he's going to put the center drill back in there, and then we're going to. Would this be called jogging, Don?
Positioning. Let's call it.
Positioning. All right. So he's going to use the ProtoTrack's power feeds. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. So that's going to show us how to use power feed. That sounds really fun, Don.
Become an advantage when you have multiple holes.
Well, I would think it also has the advantage that can I program it in where I want to go?
Yes.
All right. That way it could move exactly to it, and I don't have to do that thing with the with the handles and be off a little bit and then do the back screw stuff, because it's always going to move to that location and not have to worry about this backlash stuff.
That's correct.
All right. I see a big advantage of machine over man. Okay.
I'm going to program it by go to mode. We go into program, which is my F2 key. From there, I'm going to tell you have an opportunity to call it a program name. If you don't want to call it a program name, if you're not going to save the file, you don't need to name it. You can just go right to the beginning. If you want to name it, you name it something you want. The other thing, and then we can go right to the beginning. We're going to do a drilled hole, and if we're just doing an XY position, we can use drill position. If we're doing bolt holes, you can do bolt hole positions.
Now, bolt hole would be if you had like a pattern of multiple holes?
Circular hole, circular pattern holes.
Circular pattern. It has to be equally spaced holes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're just doing a position drill.
That's correct. So I'll do a position drill, and for example's sake, I'm going to program the first one just to show you how fast this is. So we did the first hole, I do 0.5 ABS set, and I'm going to do a negative 0.5 and Y, and I'm using tool 1. Literally seconds to program a position, and I don't have to worry about repeatability or going back to that spot. If I move off that location and have to get back there, it's just a matter of hitting event 1 and go. So event 2 is the hole that I'm going to be doing now, and I'm going to say I'm going to do him at 2 inches and X and a negative 2 inches and Y, and I'm going to also use tool 1. All right, and now
Now you put tool 1 in there, Don. This doesn't. I presume that's important if you were keeping track of your different tools?
Yes. You would actually go into a good question.
Let's review the steps Don went through to create a program. Now, the thing with Don is his hands are working so fast on that screen, sometimes it's hard to keep up. So that's where these reviews come in. Okay, first off, to start a program, you want to press the mode button. That mode button is pretty much brings all the top level menu items onto the lower part of the screen. From there, you can press the F key that's underneath the PROG or prog, which stands for program, obviously. Once you hit that F key, then you can type in the program number on the screen. It'll have a box up on the screen that'll say program name, but I didn't see any letters or keyboards for letters, so I presume probably most of these names always are going to just be numbers, even though they say that they're names. Once you have the program number typed in, you then hit ABS set. What the ABS set button you're going to see throughout is it's like an enter key. Okay, so you hit that. Then after you have the program number in, you're then going to press the F key to go to begin. So that means go to the beginning of your program. In the program, what we're doing in this movie is showing you how to move your tooling. Now, when I say move the tooling actually isn't moving. It's the table and the saddle that's moving. But it's just easier for me to say that it's the spindle and tool that's moving to a position. So just bear with me on that. Anyway, defining these drill events. First thing you do is you hit the F key underneath the position drill item on the screen. All right, and this will start event 1. Then it'll prompt you on the screen to type in the X hole coordinate in the X end box. You hit the ABS set button to enter that value. Then you type in the Y coordinates in the YN box. Once again, use the ABS set as your enter button. Then you press the F key and then position drill, and that'll start event 2. And then we can repeat this whole process again. When you're done adding in events, and I don't know what the limit on number of events, but it's certainly you're not going to reach that limit in entering 153, you would press the mode button, and that would bring you out of the programmed. All right, now that we have our program in, we'd like to get a preview on the screen of the ProtoTrack machine to see if what we programmed seems reasonable. So before we go out and try this program and actually move the table and everything, we're going to preview it. So let's go back to Don and see how to do this.
I can go into look and I can see from my absolute zero. Before I go and talk about tools, I want to talk about the look feature. The look feature allows me to take a look at where my absolute zero is, the position of those two drills, and it appears to be proper. All right?
Okay, because that origin XY is the back left corner of the part.
Correct. So I can hit look.
Let's review how Don used the look feature to preview where our drill locations would be. First thing is you press the look button. Okay, this is a button that's on the right side of the screen. Now on the screen would then appear a white XY axis. That would show you the origin, or the X equal to 0, Y equal to 0 location. Next up, the hole positions where you'll be actually drilling holes are shown with yellow dots. Then to exit the look feature, you press the look button again. So think of the look button as a toggle button. You can press it the first time, it'll open up the look feature. Press it the second time to close the look feature. Next up, let's review the idea of the XY coordinates. Now in a previous movie we used the edge finder to define the left edge of the part as X equal to 0. And we used the back part edge of the, and this is a top view, remember, the back edge would be Y equal to 0. So that means the origin is the back left corner. Positive Y is away from the part toward the machine, and the positive X is to the right. So if you wanted to position your holes, they're going to be positive X and negative Y, like you saw Don enter in the program. All right, so just keep that in mind, that the absolute 0 was previously defined using the edge finder and the process we went through previously. All right, next up, let's show how to define tools in the tool table.
And I go right back into my program and I can add more programs. Now I'll go to mode and we go into setup and we can go to our tool table. And you can see number 1 is highlighted with red. Now I can data down. Comes over here and it asks for a diameter. I can tell it a diameter of 0.1, we'll say, for a center drill. I don't really care, and I can call it out a center drill. So in this here, I can call out all my tools, so that way.
Where'd you get that center drill? Was that in a menu or something?
That was on a menu, yep.
Okay.
So I'll program this one, 0.250. And here a menu comes up and you get to select 1 as a drill, 2 center drill, and on the way down through. So 1 would be my next one, and it's a drill. So you can name these things so that way as the program is running, it'll tell you, okay, you need to change to this drill or this tool number. So it helps you keep track.
All right. Now, on more automated machines that would have an automatic tool changer, you'd have this library, and the machine would change the tool itself.
That's correct.
Defining the tool table. So on the ProtoTrack, there is not an automatic tool changer, but by defining your tools for your different position drill operations, it will prompt the user to put the proper tool in. So this is still important. So the first thing we do is we press the mode button. Okay, the mode button, remember, brings in all the top level operations into the bottom of the screen. One of those operations is setup, so you want to hit the F key that's under setup. Now once you get into the setup, there's another set of menu items, and one of them is tool table, so you hit the F under tool table. Now, in order to move the cursor position on the screen so that you can enter some data, you have to first hit the F key for data down. And that'll bring you to a place where you can then type in the tool diameter. So you type that diameter in inches, and then you hit the ABS set. Now after you do that, you're going to then move over to or it's automatically going to move over to the tool number. And then from there, a green screen, or a green menu screen, I should say, is going to appear on the ProtoTrack monitor. From that menu, you pick out the correct number, and you would then type in that tool number. Once you type that tool number, then a corresponding name will pop up over into the right field. Once you're done entering tools, you would then press the mode button to exit. And next we're going to actually run our program. So let's see that.
All right, so now it says, so you programmed it, right? And now it says select mode. You're going to hit run.
I'm going to select F5, which is a run mode. And then I'm going to tell it to start. Now, I have a start option, start event number, or I can do a trial run. Trial run basically runs across the top of your part, runs through the whole program from beginning to end in a rapid mode so that you can see where you're programmed correctly. Start event means I can start in the middle of my program. If I had 10 events, so each one of my drilled holes is considered an event. So if I wanted to just do event 2, I can type in, I can use this and say I want to just go drill event 2. All right. If I want to do all the events, I hit start, and it starts right from the beginning of the program.
Okay. What are we going to do?
I'm going to hit start so I can show you how easy it is to run through this program.
Now, before you do that, Jason, do you need to come over on this side so you can see the motion, the relative motion of the center drill? Now, you're just keeping the center drill well above the part right now down. Why is that?
Because the thing will want to, it'll tell me that I check Z, but if this thing's going to move to a position, I don't want it down in my part.
Okay, it would drag across the part, break the tooling, or do. So what did you just hit?
I hit start. And I read this thing is ready to go. Press go. Press go. Here's on my cue line. It tells me load tool 1. It tells me the diameter. It tells me what it is. And then I can press start and turn on my spindle. And it gone to my first one. It's locked in at XY0. If I grab these handles, if I was to bump them or something, they don't move. So I have the advantage of having the servos now take over.
Now, when you say servos, that means a motor drive?
Yeah, these motor drives.
Okay. So you're not going to be able to overpower the motor?
No, so I don't have to worry about them moving off location.
Okay.
So that's one advantage.
So it quickly moved to this location. If you had to drill something now, so it set the X and Y for us. Z is something that you control yourself still.
Right.
I guess that's one of the advantages of this machine for a new student, because other types of so-called CNC milling machines also would move you up and down.
Yes, it would move your Z for you. So if you programmed something wrong in Z,
so it might try to drill right to China.
You got it.
Okay. And before you get to China, there's the vise and the T-table, and that's what we really care about. We don't care if you drill a hole in China. But anyway,
Get our work back.
oh, that's right. we can get our jobs back from China. But that's why we're getting we're learning these tools so we can keep American jobs here in our mighty country strong with a manufacturing base. You're part of that. You should be proud. Anyway, all right, Don, we don't need to drill anything here. So what's the next thing we do?
You notice it says set Z. You're always going to get this with drilling operations because you're in charge. As soon as you set Z, you're done drilling your hole. Make sure Z is back. Press go. You don't get a check Z in this one. So now I've moved to X2 and Y2 to -2. I'm right over my hole. I can center drill my part. Okay?
Now, what I like about this is it moved me exactly to that location. Now, there still may be some error plus or minus, but at least I have the satisfaction I don't have to worry about backlash or anything.
That's correct.
All right, so you've spot drilled. No, you didn't spot drill. You center drill, but spot drill is another operation you could potentially do for this. So that little hole is going to guide our drill. All right, so now it says set Z again. Would we hit go again?
If you hit go, because that was our last event, it would just end the program and say run over.
Run over. Run over? You can run over something?
Yeah, it's going to run right over.
Is there roadkill over here somewhere?
Let's scrape it up, make stew.
All right.
Let's review the operation for running a program after we've already entered it. First up, you're going to press the F key under Run. Next, you're going to press the F key under Start. And the Start, it will actually start you at the beginning of the program. And Don mentioned there were other options for starting at different positions in your program. Now, before you do anything further, you need to make sure your tool is above the part, because once this program starts to run, that tool is going to be moving relative to the part. And that means that we don't want the tool at a depth where it's going to run into the part and break the tool or do even something worse. You then press the Feed Go button. Now once you do that, there's going to be a prompt on the screen that'll say install this tool and turn your spindle on. And this is where having defined the tool table is important, because it'll remind the operator, hey, put in the center drill of this diameter and turn your spindle on. When you press the Feed Go button a second time, it'll actually move the tool to the location of the first hole. Once you're at the position of the first hole, it'll say Set Z in green, and then you'll use your quill handle to go down and drill that hole. When you're done, you're going to let go of the quill handle, and the drill is going to retract away from the part. When you press the Feed Go button the second time, it's going to move to the second hole position. You then move the quill to drill the second hole. You keep hitting Feed Go until after you do your last hole, you hit the Feed Go button, and that's actually going to end your program. When your program is done, up on the screen, there's going to be, I think, in a green box that is going to say Run Over. And that means that the run has ended and you've completed your program. Finally, we're going to remind you how to shut down the controller. It's not a matter of just turning off that switch on the side. So let's see what Don does here.
Right, so let's say we're all done, Don. We now want to shut this down. Are we ready to do that?
Yeah, we can shut this down.
All right, so let's just review for the students the proper way to shut down the ProtoTrack SMX. Okay, this is a good trivia question. What's that stand for?
I think it was, I forget. I'm not even going there.
Stupid machine, and then this was a swear word, so they had to exit out. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this thing down.
Great trivia question, John. I think it's just the model. All right. If I want to get ready to shut this down, I can go into System.
System.
Shut down.
Shut down with a soft key.
And I can say yes.
Yes.
And it will flash through its thing.
Okay. All right. Do I have to wait until The window's shutting down. I have to wait till this fan goes off before I turn it off?
No. As soon as you see this Windows,
Oh, it is now safe to turn off your computer. Okay, I was afraid that was a trick, and I was going to get shocked, but I didn't. All right, you know the drill here now, folks. We're going to go off camera. We're going to clean this all up. Didn't get quite as messy. We're not even going to use air to clean this up. We're going to wipe everything down. I had Don use the oils, which made more mess. So Don, I promised I was going to do that. Hey, we're going to see you next time. We're going to probably use the what do you call that? The band saws, and the sanders over at the Applied Tech. So we're going to get to go over there. So I'll see you there next time.
Like any computer, there is a software shutdown procedure, so you can't just turn the power off. So here's the steps for the ProtoTrack. Number 1, you press the SYS button, and it's up on the left side of the screen. Then you're going to get menu items, and under one of them is going to be shutdown. You're going to hit that F key. Then it's going to ask you, do you really want to shut down? It's going to have yes or no. You hit the F key for yes. You then have to wait for the message, it is now safe to turn off your computer. Once you see that, then you can flip the power switch on the right side of the controller to the off position, and you're done. All right, congratulations. Now let's take a look at the questions that you have to be able to do. Number 1, list, it shouldn't be lists, it should be just list the steps for creating a program with the track controller. List the steps for creating a position drill event. 3 is, what does the look feature provide the user? 4, list the steps for defining a tool in the tool table. And then finally, list the steps for running a program. Hand these questions into your lab instructor, and he or she will be a very happy person. We'll see you next time.